Already know that I'm hot, making my way to the spot. It's getting heated and steaming, they feeling like I got some coke in the pot. They playing shades on the block, got the okay from my pops. They asking if it's my time, I reply with a sign, just tell them to watch. Ooh, that's my baby, my rock. She looks so mean, but she not.
Word, so, yo, aka Don, host of Don Talk Podcast. Yo, I'm here with the phenomenal, outstanding, multi-talented Red Shaydez.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yes, man. It's a good day out here. That's what I was just saying. So I'm just real calm right now. You know, it's a lot going on, but things are looking good today. How about yourself, though?
Word, yeah. You know, we just got a new president, so this is
Yes.
definitely like something to like. It's a beautiful day all around.
It is. Yeah, it hasn't settled in yet. But we definitely know we're ready for change. We know it's not going to be easy. All our answers are not going to be addressed. I mean, or all our issues are not going to be addressed, but it is a good step in the next direction. Because I know we just been going through it.
Yeah.
Struggling.
Man. So for those people who aren't really familiar with you, just kind of give a little background as to
Yeah, man. So I go by the name of Red Shaydez, and I guess you could say that I am a multifaceted creative. That's what I'm going by these days because I do dabble in a lot of different fields. So I guess I'm best known as a rapper and a mentor, sort of like a music consultant type thing. I also work heavily with the youth as well. Shout out to the hip hop transformation. And I'm an entrepreneur. I like to call it an entrepreneur because that's what my business and my line of work is in. And just an all-around creative, man. I do film and video as well, and I'm known like sort of as like a community advocate. So I think we could like start there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what so how'd you get involved with the hip hop transformation?
So I remember a couple years back I was approached by the founder, the co-founder of the program, Darren Cordy, and this was on like Facebook at the time, and I don't even think I was going like full force with my music. I think I was just ending my job that I had at the time, and he was like, hey, you know, I heard a couple of your songs, I really like it, you know, I would love for you to come speak to the kids at TWHT, that's what we call it. And then it was just as a volunteer and advisor. That's what they were calling me then. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, that sounds like something right up my alley, because just a fun fact, I've always wanted to teach or educate in some way. But I didn't know like if in the schools or what, but I always like to help people find their niche. Right. So I tried that out. I think it's actually like some of those earliest moments are caught on camera, and we just hit it off. The kids and I really just vibed really well as the staff members. And, you know, before you know it, I was volunteering for like maybe 2-3 years. And last year they asked me to come on full time as the artist development director. And so here we are going. I think we're going into year 5 now. Okay. So yeah, so it's really nice to be able to help kids with their stage presence. It's basically taking artists from the beginning and showing them. We teach them about like financial literacy, being a major label artist versus independent, unsigned, all that type of stuff. So it's cool, and I really find joy in that.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, that's such a beautiful thing, and like for you guys to, you know, help. So teenagers.
Yeah, 13 to 18.
Okay, yeah. So like, yeah, for you guys to be doing that, I think that's amazing to start them, when they're young, so that they have this information, you know, as they progress on. And another thing that I kind of liked, this was a while ago, but when you had that, not seminar, I'm trying to think
the workshop?
The workshop, surrounding everything within the music business, like that was really helpful too.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I brought my boy, and he's more on the music side, so he was like, he was like, yo, thank you.
Yeah,
for this.
you
But
know,
was
I
like,
try
yo,
to, yeah, you know, there's not a lot of information around on how to get started. There's always like either marketing companies trying to pitch to artists or promotional companies, and you know, everything's centered around getting signed. But one thing people don't talk about is like artist development has left the labels and it has left the industry. So a lot of times us artists are like basically thrown out to the wolves and we don't even know where to begin. So I figured that, you know, it's my duty to at least teach people how to get started, because regardless if you want to be signed or you want to stay independent, you have to start here first, right? Because you have to create a buzz and you got to make some noise first for them to even, for you to even be on their radar and for them to even want to reach out to you. You got to do it first anyway, so you might as well learn the ropes, because it really is, which people don't talk about, it's entrepreneurship, because you should be registered as a business if you're an artist, because that's how you get paid and that's how you keep track of your expenses and stuff. Yeah. So.
Word, okay. And I'm just gonna slide into the music portion of it. So how, like, what was kind of one of the first things, or one of the first signs when you were like, all right, like, I like this music stuff, I want to get into this?
You know what? I've been rapping a lot since I was like a little girl. So my dad is the reason why I'm in music. He introduced me into hip hop, and then my mom like had this vast music collection. So every day it was just some form of music. And I always would go up to him with like these little verses I would write when I was like a little girl, and they weren't making a lot of sense and stuff, but you couldn't tell me nothing. Like I was gonna be a rapper, and that was it. I was making mixtapes every weekend on karaoke machines and stuff, and videos, all this type of stuff. My room was basically a production studio now that I think about it and look back at it. And it's funny because today my apartment's the same. And so I think, though, you know, on all our trips, we used to commute when I was like in my mid to late teens. And I remember when I was 18 years old, I spit a verse for my father again. This is all these years later. And he looked at me and he was like, oh, it's time. He was like, you're ready now. He was like, okay, you got nice. So he took me to the studio for the first time, and it was just a wonderful experience for me. And that's when I was like, you know what? So I think around circa like 2009, I started like trying to go really hard, but I was inconsistent, you know, from then up until now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, wow, I lost my train of thought.
It's so chill. It's so calm today. That's why everything.
Oh man. Oh my goodness. I have the questions here, but
you gotta. Yep.
All right.
So yeah, I got into the music thing, and then I knew I was ready around 2009. I was like in high school at the time, and then I started podcasting. They didn't call it then. It was online talk radio. Okay. There wasn't a name for it. Yeah.
There wasn't a name for podcasting?
Yeah, I didn't hear people using the word podcast. Then it was online. What did I call it? It was Blog Talk Radio that I had my show Red Shaydez at the Hour. But I think they would call it like talk radio or online radio host. That's what we would call it. And basically that's what podcasting is now. But there's different platforms to put them on. Right. So we didn't have Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that then. It was just like you would go on these platforms such as Blog Talk Radio and listen to all these different shows. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I learn something new every day.
Yeah.
So, so after, you know, you're like, all right, I'm going to take this serious. What else kind of, or I'll say this. So were the Charmers formed within those past years, or was that more of like a recent thing?
So the Charmers, the band, or the Charmers, my fan base?
The band.
Okay, yeah. So the Charmers, the band, was formed last year when I found out that I got accepted to play on the BAMS Festival, which at the time was, and still today, that's one of my most fondest memories. But it was a big deal for me at that time because I had never performed on a platform of that magnitude. Like it was a festival, and it was in the middle of Franklin Park, and it was all those thousands of people there. It was a big moment for me. So we started prepping and rehearsing months before. We found out early, like at the beginning of the year, so we knew. And then I started practicing like maybe 2.5 months before the show. Because I had never performed with a band before prior to that. So it was a big deal for me. Yeah.
So, because honestly, I think I forget where. No, I missed you at Bands Festival. I came like, I think when I got there, you were leaving the stage. But then was it BAMS Festival where you guys were on Fox?
No, things were happening so fast. That was what did they call that? It was Mattapan Love. Oh, Zip Trips.
Oh, okay,
it was called Zip Trips, and I'm not gonna lie, I did not watch that prior to. So there was a bunch of people hit me up like, "Yo, I see you. Like I watch this all the time. I can't believe you're on there." And I'm like, I was like, "Oh, I never heard of Zip Trips." And the thing is, what I found out is like, they usually go to the outskirts and the suburbs, and they very seldom come to the hood. That year they came to Mattapan, so the hood saw it, so they was like, "Oh, okay." And so that would happen very last minute too, so shout out to them for even being able to do it. I remember, if you care to hear the story, like this other festival I did, and that's why I play It's Good to Network. One of the curators knew somebody in the mayor's office that had the connection to Zip Trips, and they needed an artist to perform, but they don't know any of us local artists because, those sectors are very different. Yeah. So that lady was like, "Hey, it's last minute, but can I refer you Red Shaydez? And she has a band and stuff like that." And actually, I don't even think she told him I had the band. I think she just told him about me. And because I perform with the band at select shows, I don't want to give it I don't want people to expect it all the time. So she hits me up, and at that time I thought it was the very next day, because I think she hit me up on like a Wednesday or Thursday, and the performance was on a Friday. But luckily we had a week, still not a lot of time to prepare. So I called them all up, and they're like, "What? Fox News?" And they're like, "Yeah, let's go." So we ended up doing that for Zip Trips with Fox News, and they interviewed me in one little portion, and then we performed after. And that, again, I was on a high, because Bands Fest was just like a month and a half before that. So that was a great day too. Yeah. Last summer was lit.
Yeah. I agree. Because I think, I forget how I heard about you. I think it was someone, I don't know if it was your album release party, but it was on, I follow Kaelia. Okay. And it was on her story. She
opened up for me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, she performed, and then I saw you perform, and I was like, okay. And then, did my research.
Wow, that's how you found out. Because I like to ask everybody. You found out about me through Kaelia? Yeah. Alea? Yeah. Yeah. So I met her in TWHT. Really? Yeah. So it's good that you started off with those questions, because now it's all connected. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. And then, doing my research, checked out your album. I was like, I think it was just
the Chillin' in the Shade EP.
Yeah.
Because that's what the release party was for.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it was that one, and then I think I went back
to Magnetic Aura.
And did that, and I heard, just trying to catch the vibe. So I was like, okay, that's
get familiar with me.
Yeah. So I was like, trying to. I was like, this is what I like in local artists, because I grew up on the older school, so like my brother was heavy on like New York stuff, so like Dipset,
so you like a certain kind of rap. I love Dipset.
You feel me? Like they just I can't explain it. So like Dipset, but like going back even further, you had to have been there.
What a time.
Exactly. But going back even further, I do like I listen to like a lot of like Dr. Dre and like Snoop, all those guys. Like that's kind of like that bounce. It was different, right? So like that's when I listen to music, like that's what I like to hear, and I get that a lot from your music.
Thank you. Yeah, you strike me as like a hip hop fan, like a connoisseur. Like you dissect the lyrics and want to know about the artist, and I appreciate like fans like that or supporters like that, because I'm like, damn, are there any of them left? Like,
Right.
I want you to catch the entendres I'm putting in the songs, and so.
You see, and like now I'm getting excited because I'm like, all right, like, feel the aura. Like, there was so many things I had to break down, and Feel the Aura, if you have not heard it, you need to go check it out because that album was phenomenal. But
Thank you.
Old Days, oh my goodness.
Let's break it down.
Yo, so okay.
What happened? Talk to me.
So starting with the sample, right?
Okay.
I was like, as soon as the beat came on, I was like, I know this sample, because what's funny is, like, so I used to produce, like, I still kind of do,
Okay.
but not really, not as much, but so what's crazy is, like, that same section that you guys used, like, I was trying to work with that before, and I was like, all right, like, I can't really do it, like, I'll come back to it. It was one of those. And then when I heard it in that beat, I was like, oh my God.
You said, my goodness, right? Heard them 808s.
Yo, I was like, this is perfectly crafted. Everybody murdered their beat. Tashawn Taylor and
Rael. Yep.
Okay.
Tayshawn's from TAAC too.
Yeah. I think so. He helps out with them as well.
Now he's alumni. Both of them are. Now they help out, but they were once students.
Right,
Yeah.
No, that's amazing too. Shout out to both. Well, shout out everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, like hearing that sample, I was like, okay. And then the beat building, and then like something else I noticed is like everybody did the hook right before their verse. So I was like, okay, like
you're the second person to met. See, I'm glad you picked up on that.
I like it catches me every single time, and I love that, like the way, first of all, the way he came on the beat was like, all right,
wasn't it gritty and just like you felt his. I like Tayshawn because when you listen to his music, you feel the pain or whatever emotion that he's giving you. You feel it instantly when he raps.
100%.
So it was. I said, you start first.
Man, so yeah, there was that. What was another one? I really like Ghost. How you and Kasia, I think you guys kind of, it was like a perfect balance, like, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but like it just everything fit so right in the pockets and in the verses. Everything was, I really like that song as well. And then I talk about this one because the recipe, you were just in your bag. I was like, oh my goodness,
I was
she
on
is
my
talking
shit.
her shit, and you can't say nothing. Like, yo, her work speaks for herself. Like, you can't.
Yeah, it's a different vibe on every song,
Right.
I was it, and I'm glad to hear like what song stood out to you because everybody is giving me different answers, and I appreciate that because that lets you know it's a cohesive body of work,
right?
And different songs speak to people in different ways, and it's when the album first came out, I was hearing, let's just say, this, that, and the third, and now that it's been marinated for a couple of months, now I'm hearing different things, so it's cool to like hear that. Yeah.
And I mean, there's just, I hate picking songs because like the album as a whole is like, it's a great body of work.
Thank you.
We Got It On, like, yo, you three just, I can't explain it. You three y'all just handle business. So
thank you.
I'm always surprised when I hear all the femcees on one track, like the Halloween cypher. We'll kind of get into that a little bit.
Oh, right, because that just happened.
Yeah, and like I watched that video and I was like, I gotta watch this again.
Yeah, we'll break that down.
Yeah. But so how do you? What is it like, kind of being in the studio, like, and all you guys, like, do you guys give each other your space, or like when you're writing together? I don't really know, like.
Okay, so I'll break this down for you. One of the reasons why I feel the aura as a whole is very special and unique to me is because I've never collaborated with people on my previous projects, and when I did, they were always vocalists. So Kayalea was the only person I think that was featured on Chillin' in the Shade, and on Magnetic Aura, the two features was my mom and a close friend that people didn't know, and now they know now because I'm telling everybody. So I was very because I'm very reserved, like regularly, and I really didn't know the artists out here like that when I first did Magnetic Aura. So it was something to overcome for me. It was more than just, oh, I'm putting the whole city on my project. This was like, hey, I'm so used to being solo and doing everything myself. Let me branch out so I can have my sound elevated and put other people on other people's radars that probably never heard of them, and same for me, because they're going to promote the song because they're on it, and maybe someone that has never heard of me now knows who I am. You know, it's a cross promotion type of thing, but more importantly is community. So when I was doing this album this time around, I wrote these songs with different people in mind. And so when you get a chance, on my website, there's a Feel the Aura EPK page that sort of just takes you from beginning to end of how all of this was constructed and how it came about. And we filmed each writing and
each session.
Yeah, each session and each recording session, which is called the Aura session. So when writing that song with Brandy and Cake, it was just a vibe. We already knew each other and had familiarity, and I think when we wrote this song, it was right after we did the Hella Black show with the BCA, where it was all of us. Right. We'll get to that. And I think we just, so I like write a lot of songs way ahead of time. I had that beat like a year or two before. And another fun fact that nobody else knows is when I had this verse like written already, Brandy, Blaze, and I were coming home from another show, because people just love putting us on the same bill, right? So we're doing one of our many shows together, and a secret is we always play each other like unreleased music. Nobody has heard it. Nobody knows what it is. And so I play her this beat, and she's like, yo, sis, I don't know like what you have planned for this. She's like, that verse is fire. Like, I need to be on this song. She's like, I'm coming in strong arm, and like, this could have been a single song for you, but I need to be on it. So I'm like, bet. I remembered. But like I said, a year and a half went by. And so now I'm kicking things into gear to record Feel the Aura. And I'm like, you know what? I want Cake on this song. So I was like, let me reach out to Cake. Cake was like, just tell me where to be. And that was the thing. It was like, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm so like crazy. Like, I was scared to like ask people to hey, do you want to do the song? And they're like, Red, are you fucking crazy? Like, yeah, we want to do the song. They're like, what's wrong with you? Like, tell us where to be. Because it was like, you know, dealing with a lot of schedules are crazy. So one, I'm asking them to take time out their day to come to a writing session, because I was like, we're not doing songs where we're sending verses back and forth. Right. We all got to be under the same roof in red light too. And they were like, okay, whatever. And then I was like, then we got to pick a date to record it. They're like, all right, cool, bet, whatever. So I pretty much had it all laid out for them, and they all did. I didn't receive any kickback. And I think the We Got It On song was one of the quickest ones we wrote, because it's so easy to just talk your shit on a song. That's all we did. Yeah. And the chorus was just chopped up versions of what we already said in the verse. So that was a fun record. And I didn't know that. I knew people would like it, but I didn't know it was going to really hit them. I'm like, y'all really like talking shit songs. Yeah. I'm like, people this like, is true. Yo.
Yes, we do. Like, Because at least for me, like, when I hear... You know, when I hear a song, like when I throw on the recipe, like that ain't Jakara shit. Like
people love that line.
Oh my goodness! And then you was talking your shit. I can't remember the lyrics, but it's like I think it's like the last line of the second verse
in Recipe.
Okay.
So let me see.
But it's right after that, like right after that.
Dad ain't your car, your dad.
Yeah, it's
the way that you living is sad. Yes, I sound judgy, but you tried to crush me, and now I'm gonna get in your ass.
Like yo, when I throw that on, and I hear that, I'm like, yo, like that's
like, that talk, right?
You feel me?
You know what? My headspace around this time. The thing is, like, I do a lot of like self reflection, and I listen to, you know, what my supporters are saying, or, you know, I make music for me and with hopes that you guys can relate to it too. But one thing I was hearing a lot was, Red, we want to hear you talk more shit. They was like, you so nice, and like, you know, all this, that, and the third, and we know you got bars, and that's cool. But now we want to hear Like, we want to hear you talk that talk. So I took that into consideration, and I was like, oh, okay. They think I can't talk shit. So I was like, on this album, I was just like, brah,
I'm gonna do it.
I was like, here we go.
Oh man, nah, that was good. Let me see. So yeah, we got it on. What's the other one? Bahamas to Atlanta.
From Bahamas to Atlanta. Yep.
Oh yes,
yep.
yes. So, I mean, I've always loved, like bars and like definitely like hearing back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
That
back in
like,
the day, people don't really do that no more.
You feel me? So,
yeah.
So like that was dope to hear. Two talented artists going back to back like that, and I played it for my boy.
Mm-hmm.
Like we was, I forget where he was. I think we don't know, we was going somewhere. But like I put that on, and he was like, "Yo, bro, I'm gonna need this song." like you don't hear. It's very rare to hear artists like I said, like go back and forth right now. Like we don't hear that a lot. But that was a beautiful art, and you guys did it so well. So,
thank you, I appreciate it.
So
this is why it's important to write in person. At the writing session, it's good to have a writing session, because we wouldn't have been able to execute that if we did it back and forth.
Right.
The song probably would have never came out. Yeah. So.
Oh man. So there's that one, and then Still I Love You. That one, like I think realistically, I believe I had that one played the most, just because it's like it's a different space.
Yes.
And it's a very vulnerable song, and that's as you mentioned on the song, like that was a very vulnerable space for you, and well, in the second verse, you were a child. That was a very different experience for you. So like I can easily empathize with people, so it was like, all right, like that put me in a space. I was like, okay, like I feel every time I hear that song, I feel the song. You feel
like, it. Thank you.
Every part of it. And then shout out to Prescott, because he did his thing.
Didn't he kill it? He just brought emotion to the song, as well as my engineer. I got to give shout out to him too, to International Show, because he added keys on there that were not on the original beat. He said, I need to reel this in. We need to take it home. So we were sort of driving you guys, and he was like, we need to pull them back in and take them home with he like put a breakdown on it and put some keys in and made it more dramatic. And just all those elements, I think, helped it.
Definitely. Yeah, that was just those are just some of the ones that like have been on repeat. But again, like the whole album from start to finish is like is a beautiful piece of work. And
thank you.
I really like also what you did with They Call Me Shades, because that the visual it was so different. Like
the animation,
that was dope.
You got to get creative during COVID and all that. Exactly. And once I see, I was, and I don't want to mess up any of your following questions, but for those that don't know, I had a movie planned with this that was going to tie in all my bodies of work, not just this album. So it wasn't like, I'm putting a movie with the album. This was like everything, because, my brand is about delayed gratification in my artistic journey and how long things took and how to enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? And once we found out that all those restrictions hit, which was in mid-March, I knew right then and there that all these production calls I was having with my team, it had to come to a halt. So I was like, well, clearly we're not going to be able to film the movie, which means we're not going to be able to do the movie premiere. Because I don't know if you remember, I was telling everybody to save a date way early, like January of this year. Save the date, because that's what the plan was. And once I saw that there was these restrictions, I said, damn, it's not looking good. I instantly had to pivot. And so I was like, what ways can I stand out from not only my peers, but just, things that you've seen in a while. And I said, well, we're going to have to get animated. And that's the route that I took.
Right. Yeah. So that route was a great route.
Thank you. Yeah. I didn't expect people to, I don't know why I never expect people to do anything, but I'm like, because my thing is like, we create art, right? You don't know how it's going to resonate with people, and you don't know the impact or reaction it's going to have. So when that came out, because I'm very strategic about what time I release things and what days, because they be trying to play us with the algorithms. So I put it out and it just like went crazy. Like everybody was just, I think it was a good, if timing was everything, because at that time people were not seeing that.
Right.
And also there weren't a lot of releases in the city either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, like fitting the time, you know, with COVID, I think. No, that came the summer-ish, right?
Yeah. But I started promoting it 2 months prior. So people knew it was coming since, I think, like the end of May. And I dropped it at the end of July. Yeah.
So like
trying to get some and I was giving y'all little pieces every Sunday. There was something tied to the album. So I'm like, they're like, it's coming.
Right.
All right. It's almost here.
It was a great build-up.
Yeah.
It not even like just a build-up. Like it was a phenomenal... Like you did your thing.
Roll it out. Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, jumping a little backwards into the Halloween cipher.
Okay, let's get it.
So how did that come about?
So I have to give all credit to shout out to Maze Radio, Inside the Maze. They're, you know, they started out as like a radio show, and they used to be on a couple of different platforms, but now they're on Big City FM on 88.5. But they're also like a media production company. So they do videos and visuals. So shout out to Sir Eyes Films. And they do a Halloween cypher every year. This particular year, they had this great idea to do a Halloween cypher with the femcees. And what got me to say yes already was because I already mentioned earlier that I have a film and video background. I love to play like a bunch of different characters, and that's something that I don't think a lot of people know about me. If we didn't go to school. And when they reached out to me and told me that it was gonna be in it and try to do some like Halloween metaphors and I'm gonna be tied up and all that, I said, sign me up. I said, that's all y'all gotta tell me, because there's sometimes like I get approached with certain things. I was like, no, I'm not interested. Like, or whatever. But tied up to the shed and outside and holler. And shout out to them, like, they accommodate you. Like, a lot of times people will ask you to do things and they're not providing anything. It's like, this is only benefiting you. Like, we need something to feed me. Do something. Right. So they did all that and more. And it was the enthusiasm. And when they basically put all my homies on the track. So I was like, well, why not? It's a celebration. Let's do it. And so, you know, they reached out to us with that in mind, but they didn't know how the song was going to turn out, who was going to say what. And I really took it to heart because I kept it all the way Halloween. And then we filmed it like a week later after doing the song. So all this happened relatively fast. And then boom, we put it out on Halloween, and that was it. Yeah.
Now that was dope to, you know, cause like I said earlier, like having all the femcees on one track is like
posse cut.
You feel me? Like it's different, and it feel like it shows like, yo, femcees are doing their thing. Like there's no like I'm really trying to step away from like the whole, you know, oh, there's a female rapper. Nah, that's a rapper.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like the femcees, like
it just so happens that the female MCs are the ones, like, you know, collectively and individually. I feel like everybody's doing their thing on their own, and then when you bring us together, it's like even more dynamic.
Exactly. So yeah, like I'm excited for all you guys, like to see, you know, how you progress, and to see, like, I love the collabs and stuff. So so like I'm excited for more of those.
Appreciate that.
So going into what's coming a little later, you know, the BMAs. So how do you feel about, you know, your nominations and stuff?
You know what? If I could be completely honest with you, like, because people say this, but I'm going to tell you mine. Like, if you follow me closely, or if you know that I don't do my work for awards. That's cliche, but it honestly, my mission with this music has nothing to do with those type of recognitions. However, it feels really great to be recognized, particularly in the categories that I was recognized in. So I can't lie and sit here and be like, oh, I don't care about none of that. No, it feels good. It does, especially for album of the year and it was something that I put a lot of effort into, and I'm just glad that it didn't go overlooked and underrepresented and all that. I'm glad that what I put into it is what I'm receiving back. And then what's one of the other categories? Hip hop artist of the year. I didn't expect that. Like, not that I don't feel I deserve it, but politics,
right? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to be there with all those other talented people and those names that have been there every year, coming from last year, I was nominated for one award. It was Unsigned Artist of the Year. And that was even, I was so honored and happy to be there. But to come back the following year with 4 in those major categories, it does feel really good. And it's like, okay, I'm here. I made my mark, you know, so.
That's good.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like, we can, or at least for me, like I can sense that, through your music. It's not about like
the fame.
It's
really not. That just came with it.
Yeah,
I didn't really. This life
authentic.
chose me. I don't care about if like I said, whoever follows me knows I don't care about all that. So you never about I'm a celebrity. You better win my food. Like what? Like I really just be chilling. Like.
Right. Okay. So, and then how did so the Hella Black event, how did that come together? Selecting everyone to say, okay, like this is how we're like, this is the bill. And
this was all shout out to Candace McDuffie. I'm not sure if you heard of her. She's really great journalist here. And then the BCA, Boston Center for Arts, and Lindsay Allen, all of them, they curated the show together. They reached out to us with this idea. Sounded really great. And then having Dig Boston cover it and put us all on that cover. In my opinion, I feel like that's iconic because the city has never seen anything like that before. Because we always get a name, but like, oh, nobody supports, and then they make it seem like the femcees don't get along, like, nationally as far as in the mainstream and stuff. Especially around that time with the whole like Cardi B and Nicki situation and all that. So it was a breath of fresh air to see something like that being done on a local level. And that's something that I'll never forget. That's a moment in time I'll never forget. And so they brought us all together. They had Jay Hunt take the pictures. I think it was so dope to see everybody in black like that, and the group picture and the individual shots. It was just really dope, and I was just happy to be a part of that. I felt like we were making history. Yeah,
you guys definitely did. I'm not gonna lie, when I went there, I was like, I normally go with a friend, but I went alone this time, and like that was a little nerve-wracking for me because I was like, holy crap, like I'm here, surrounded by everybody, like all these people who are super talented. Like it was kind of like that imposter syndrome kicking in.
Okay,
but
you deserve to be there too.
But like that's kind of like what I that's what I remind myself of. But yeah, like again, like. Imposter syndrome aside, like just being present in that moment, I was like, okay, like there's all these talented people here. Like there's no way people can really say that Boston doesn't support each other. Like there's just
either you're not out in the scene and you're just talking just to talk, because there's no way you could witness all of that and say that.
Exactly. So that was, again, like that was a beautiful thing, and I really enjoyed it. Like.
Appreciate it.
Everything I was like, every performance, like,
there was local just concert goers there. There was news there, press and media. The people from the mayor's office was there. Boston Magazine was there. Like, you gotta really know who these people are to know like how much love we get there. Everybody and anybody was there. It was like a very diverse crowd. So
yeah, that was amazing to see. So what was the driving force behind the boxing role? Because I honestly love that. Like I think that's so dope.
People like that.
That's very dope to, like you. Like, yo, I really can't say anybody like who else wears a boxing like that's so different, but it's fire.
Thank you. I wear that at select shows. I notice because people, when I do wear it, people love it. Me, I'm real, like, I'm animated in a sense to where, rapping is essentially acting because we have to play all these different characters when we do videos and which hint hint, I'll say something at the end for people to stay on the lookout for. But like I feel like I embody a different persona. Red Shaydez is not who I am as a regular person. This is a persona. This is an artist. This is it's a creative, you know. And so I don't ever want to give people the same show twice. And so I always try to throw different elements. Even if I'm still performing the same songs, I always switch my sets up. The venue, I always do a different set list all the time, because I want to give somebody different. Because you just mentioned 2 events that you came from. So if you saw me at Bands Fest and you saw me at Hella Black, those are 2 completely different shows. So I want to keep that same reputation so that you never know what you're going to expect when you come see a Red Shaydez show. You know what I mean? So with that boxing robe, it was me just getting to yet another one of my million characters that I do. I had the gloves on and I come out, and I had an old song from my first project, Magnetic Aura, called Bad News. And I always wanted to do a video for that, and it was going to be like in the boxing range, and I might still do it. Who knows? And that's why I wear that when I come out, because it was like, I was known as the underdog. I was pursuing music for all these years, and I just started getting my flowers like 2 years ago. So it was underdog. It was like the champ is here, the people's champ. That's what DJ Washam, shout out to Washam, that's what they be calling me. So I was just like, fulfilling that.
Word. So
giving y'all something to look at. Like, oh, okay, I'm not about to just get up here on the mic. I'm giving you a show.
Right.
Like,
so I can definitely say, like, kind of like you said, for the shows that I've been to, it's never been the same show. It's always been like a different, even if it is like a different or the same songs, same songs, different track lists,
different arrangements, whatever. So. And this is all coming from a person that you're talking about being nervous to do this. I'm so nervous to be on stage. I have social anxiety. It takes a lot for me to get up there and do what I do, but wearing these glasses gives me these superpowers that, I didn't know I possessed, and I get up there and just black out. And then when I get off, I go back to like the regular shy me. But up there, I feel like, oh, they're here to see me. Like, I got to give y'all something to see. Yeah. So. And
what made it Red Shaydez that you wanted to go with? Like, what's the story behind that?
It's a story behind that, and it's this is not really as cool as we probably want it to be, but like, I was getting babysat by my aunt one day, way back in the day. I was like 11. She said I was being good. We went to the store out in Hyde Park called Hair Stop, and in Hair Stop, at the front they sell hair items. They sell all these accessories, so like glasses and lighters and all this type of stuff. And this is the early 2000s. And she told me to pick whatever I wanted. And I went to the front, and I'm looking, and I see these like little red shades. And it was like, when it's like love at first sight. Like, I'm looking at all that stuff up there, and I see those. And for some reason to me, I was so like enticed by the red glass. I had never seen colored shades, and red, I guess I found out then, was my favorite color. So I picked those up, and I'm like, can I get these? And she's like, okay, yeah, whatever. So prior to that, take you a little bit back, when I'm making all those mixtapes, I told you, like, every weekend I had a karaoke machine, I would make up these different characters. And now everything's coming together again, because you see in this pattern with me and taking on these different personas. I was an only child, so I would make up these. I had like a rapper, a label, and I would be a rap group, me, one person. I would be like 3 people. Then I was this other solo artist that came on, and so on and so forth. When I got those red glasses, I inducted yet another label mate, and I was like, oh, this person is Red Shaydez, and I named it Red Shaydez because my nickname is Shay. And these were shades, so I put that in there, and they were red, so I said Red Shaydez. But then as I got older, it meant much more to me, and red ended up representing not only my aura, but the fire and passion that I put into my art, into my work, into my purpose. And shades represented my perspective and my vision on everything, and Red Shaydez is that fire, passion, perspective, vision. So yeah,
I like that though. It's definitely like, like coming from a young age, like you see the red shades, and then like that, like you grow into that.
I grew into that person. So now for me, just being with, like I mentioned, the anxiety and stuff, putting these on give me like these superpowers. So there's a lot. That's why in my music I give there's a lot of vulnerability, because I'm bringing you in deeper into who I am, like as a person, and it's my perspective out of these like rose-colored glasses. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of wordplay. It's a lot of deeper meaning behind it. It just depends on how you interpret it.
Right. Okay. And then what do you find inspires you the most, like when you're coming up with content, or you know, if you're doing a verse, like what are some of the things?
So for me, the beat always evokes emotions and words from me. Like I don't ever like write a song and then find a beat to fit that. I tailor my lyrics to the beat, and I'm very particular about my beats and my beat selection and stuff. So maybe what I can say is sometimes, like for instance with Still I Love You, I was sitting on that song for 5 years. I had the beat, I already wrote that chorus, I already knew that that's what I wanted the words to be. However, I did not have the second verse yet because I wasn't ready to speak about that moment yet. And then I didn't change, because there's kind of 2 choruses in that song. So the first one is sort of like about relationships, and then the second one is about loss. And I didn't write those specific lyrics yet until the more recent years. So sometimes I'll have like an idea and I'll come back to it, like you mentioned with your beats. But other times I hear that beat, I play it over and over and over, and then words start coming out. And usually what I do is I start rapping gibberish first, and the flow sounds fire.
Yeah.
And then I start putting real words in there. That's sort of like how I rap. I'd be like, I'll hear a beat and I'll be like, it's the fabulous, and then I'll go, I'm the adjectives, I coming through and I blast the shit. But then I'll do that, and then that's how I make a song.
Word.
Yeah, some are faster than others, and some take a while. Yeah.
But like I definitely like that. Like you know, you gotta do gibberish, and like even if you're humming or something, you know, like to find the pockets.
Exactly.
And stuff,
especially with the R&B songs I write.
Exactly.
I usually get the melody first, and then I know how I want it to sound, and then I'll write that, and then I'll go to the vocalist and tell them, sing it like this. Yeah.
So I mean, I guess my last biggest question is like, what advice would you give to like another up and coming creative?
You know what? I would say do your research on, you know, your market, because this is just not for aspiring musicians. Like if you want to be a visual artist or a multidisciplinary artist, no matter what market you're in, research it, because it's ever changing. It's always going to change. And you know, figure out if you want to do it as a hobby or if you would like to make a living with your work. And if it's the latter, then make sure you're doing your research and networking and meeting people, because you never know the places that your art will take you. I'm a living testimony of that. And just stay persistent, I would say. And always be looking to learn and seek knowledge, because they come from the most weirdest, unexpected places. And I would say, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too much of a perfectionist. And that's something I had to learn. Because when I first started out, you know, I would sit on songs forever, and it's like, bro, like release it and you know, move on and do whatever. But at the same time, you want to be meticulous and take your time. So I think it's a balance, but that's what I would say. Research, collaborate, big. Collaborate is huge, because people like network, but collaborate those people you're networking with. And yeah, that's what I would say.
Word. Okay. So my last question, do you have any shout outs?
Yo, I got a shout out for the whole city, man. Nah, for real. But I want to shout out to everybody that sort of had their projects halted, and they had to figure out how they were going to pivot, and now they're out here soaring and doing great things. Shout out to everybody that's still going through, but also super shout out to people that, you know, they're stuck and they don't know what to create right now, because a lot of people make you feel like, oh, you know, this is the perfect time for you to be creating.
Right.
I'm here to say, like, if you're stuck right now, that's okay. Hopefully you're finding inspiration for everybody that continue to push forward, and don't create like these unnecessary timelines. So just shout out to everybody doing their thing and, you know, spreading positivity. That's what I would say.
Word. Yo, you heard it here first. Again, Don Talk Podcast, legendary Red Shaydez. Yo, thank you again for
thank
for
you.
being here.
It's a pleasure to be here on the podcast.
Call on me, I got the recipe. 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 Yeah. Call on me, I got the recipe. Call on me, I got the recipe. Yeah. Call on me, I got the recipe. Call on me, I got the recipe. Yeah. I got the recipe.